viewers of Mama Niger's Kitchen, welcome again to a very wonderful show that we are going to bring to your homes today. If this is your first time watching us, you are welcome and we are excited to have you on board. If you have been watching us, thank you so much for your support, for your comments, your likes. Please continue to subscribe and journey with us as we continue to share our ideas, our cooking skills, and simultaneously handing down cooking skills to our daughters and son. That is the integral mission of the show. So, what do we have today? Well, remember, we are still in the Christmas season, the holiday season. So one of the side dishes that we all love, those of you that are from Nigeria or from Africa, or those of you that have been adopted into Nigeria cuisines and you have adapted that into your own lifestyle, oh, that is beautiful. That is wonderful. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. You know, there should never be one channel to life. There should be multiple channels with multiple choices and varieties. And that is what creates those special experiences. So please, today we are going to create Moi Moi. How does that sound to you? Moi Moi. It is spelled just as it is pronounced. M-O-I, M-O-I. Moi Moi. So Moi Moi is made out of black eye beans, typically what you will call beans pudding. But we're going to spice it up. And Moi Moi is actually side dish. It's a classical side dish that is used in various occasions in Africa, specifically Nigeria. You can find Moi Moi as a side dish in weddings, in festive occasions of all sorts of display. So please stay tuned. Hang around with us at Mama Niger's Kitchen as we go into our kitchen to whip up a beautiful and yet delicious Moi Moi to suit any occasion. So, the ingredients that I'll be using, this is the main ingredients. So this is peeled black eye beans. The question might come to mind, can you use any other beans? Yeah, some people have tried any other beans, but the staple is black eye beans, okay? And thank goodness the technology that has been able to modify our lifestyle by creating peeled black eye beans so that we don't have to spend all that long hours in the kitchen trying to peel off the skin. Because when you purchase your black eye beans, all beans have those the skin to it. You definitely have to remove the skin, soak it up, remove the skin before you can use it for your bean pudding, which is Moi Moi. But you don't have to do that. Go to the store, any of the international store, as a matter of fact, you can Google it also. Google peeled beans. And this will come up. You can order it. I actually ordered it just with a click of the mouse and it came straight to my house. And for this, you can use for Moi Moi or akara. In another show, we will show you also how to whip up a very delicious akara. So, as you can see, this is very hard, okay? It is dry beans. So you don't want to blend it in this status. you want to soak it overnight. Okay, I soaked mine since about 6 o'clock this morning, and now it is about 3 p.m. So we're looking at what? 9 hours. 9 hours of soaking, and this is the end product when it is all fully soaked. It is very, very moist and soft, and you can easily get it into your, if you still have any of these little shells remaining, that's fine, as long as you don't have abundance of it. If you have it in abundance, you want to rinse multiple times to get rid of that, or you may have to pick it one at a time out of it. But to me, this is just adequate. Okay, so as you can see, there is still water in the base that I use to soak it. So please take note of this. When you soak it, because it is dry processed beans, you don't just want to immediately blend it and start and proceed with the moi moi. You want to rinse it multiple times. That is very important, because you want to wash out all of that processing out of the beans, so that all you are getting from the beans is the actual real beans. I have washed this quite a bit, but I'm just going to show you the process. Drain it off, agitate that pan so that any remaining shell can come up to the surface to fall off of it. Okay, see what I'm doing? And you see those shells coming up. You might lose one or two beans, but seeds, but that is okay. You can also use a colander, you know, to collect that, so you don't have to lose any of the bean seed. All right, so as you can see, my beans is very clean and is ready to be blended. Additional ingredients that you need to season up the beans are the onions. Okay, so I have here 2 large onions, and then of course the red bell pepper and 3 habanero pepper, and I do have 10 tomatoes. As you can see, I'm not using any raw tomatoes. My preference is the tomato paste. And to give it some more additional protein is the corned beef. I'm using 1 can of corned beans, and to spice it up a little bit, I have seasoning salt, and I'm going to use about 2 teaspoons of the chicken flavor bouillon powder, and of course some vegetable oil. The water I have here, I'm going to use the water to blend and create a paste. Lastly is our egg. So this egg is actually going to be used to garnish our moi moi. So I have this egg already fully boiled, and right now I just have it in cold water so that I can peel it off and slice it to sizes and shape of my preference, so that I can add that as a garnishment to the moi moi. There are various methods to cook the moi moi. Okay, you can decide to wrap it up in aluminum foil and cook it on the stove top under high steam heat. But today I am going to cook it under steam bath in the oven. I have here aluminum foil with water at the bottom, and I am using cupcake pan. So I'm going to use cupcake pan, the round ones as well as the square ones, so just to kind of give it some texture, color, and shape. You don't want to put everything into the blender at the same time, okay? So just portion it out. A little bit of patience, that will go a long way, so that you don't have to end up, you know, starting all over, because the the products you have in your blender is not blending correctly. You want it at a very fine, smooth paste because you don't want seeds in your moi moi. So I have that in here, and I'm going to add some water, just enough water for it to blend with. And cover that up. I'm going to select 2 for blending. We have blended into fine paste. Let me show you. You can see the texture is really fine. Okay, there is no seeds there. Everything is just kind of chunk cut up, and I'm going to pour that in my blender. Okay, that's good. Just a little bit of water to it. Tomato paste does not really need to be blended again, but you can see it is very thick, so it's going to take you a longer time to mix it in. A technique you can use is add it onto your blender, and that will soften up the thick consistency so everything can easily flow as you stir it into your beans paste. Everything is now in the same consistency. All right, so give that a stir. Right now the consistency is too thick, so for your beans you don't want it this thick. This is too thick. We need it to be a little bit runny, so we definitely will be adding on some water to this. I want to give my moi moi a little bit of texture as well as color. I'm going to go with diced red pepper. Give it some color. Next, I do have diced up spring onions, so giving me that green color to it. Girl, get out of town. This is gonna be gingering up. Look at that, colorful. So you can see how I am stirring it. There are different ways to stir. When you do this, you are folding the mixture in, okay? You fold it in. Fold that in. Okay. I also have the corned beef. All right, so it comes out of the can like that. So I'm going to just I've cut it into 3 portions. Then I'm going to dice it up a little bit further. Kind of into square chunks. I remember when I was a child, you know, when my mom finished with cooking moi moi, and if you are lucky to be the one to have a big chunk of corned beef or fish in your moi moi, you are so lucky. You count yourself very lucky. Okay, so it's like that element of surprise within the moi moi. So as you can see, our moi moi is going to be very rich, colorful, tasteful, and delicious. Finger licking. That's what you're going to create once you are all done with this. All right. So again, before I pour that in, I do have here half a cup of vegetable oil. So I'm going to just pour that in so I can mix all my ingredients together. Okay. And now my seasoning in itself. So I am using Larry's seasoned salt. So I'm not going to use any iodine salt. So my seasoning here is going to represent the salt. So let me change my measurements. So because I actually need 1 teaspoon of the Larry's seasoned salt. I don't want to pour excess into that. Okay, there we go. All right, 1 teaspoon. Spray that on. I think I'm gonna need more. That 1 teaspoon is a little bit too small. So let's make that 2 teaspoons. And then we'll taste, okay? And then of course I do have my powdered chicken bouillon. So I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of that. And 2 tablespoons. Okay. So next is to mix all of this up. So as you can see, I'm going to fold it all into the beans paste. Added 1 cup of water. Okay, I'm looking for a thinner consistency. You don't want the pudding, the beans pudding, to stick on to the pan. So you want to give it a good thorough spray, a good coating. I remember when I was growing up, there was nothing like this. So if you don't have this at home, there is another way to get it done. So just get yourself a bowl of groundnut oil or your vegetable oil, get a tissue dip into it, and use that tissue to wipe your pan. That will give it the oil coating that it does need. I am holding in the yolk so it remains intact in its natural form. And this is optional, you know, you can have your moi moi. If you are allergic to egg, you don't have to add egg to your moi moi, okay? You can also choose to just drop in 1 whole egg into your moi moi. My moi moi is already very densely rich. And beans, of course, is very high in protein already. So I am just using this as a garnishing. So our last step is to now scoop this beans paste into the cupcake. So this is going to be a very fanciful way for you to prepare your moi moi and have a lovely presentation when it is all done, which will be good for any festive occasion, birthdays, graduation parties. You know, everybody comes and pick up 1 or 2. You don't have to worry about any messiness of cleaning up afterwards because it is rightly proportioned to size. The moi moi has been dished into the cupcake pan. So right now, and it is, remember, it is sitting over a water bath. So give it that steam cooking that it needs. the heat in the pan. I'm using aluminum foil to give it a good seal. And my oven is already preheated. Now we have our finished products. The Moi Moi, which can be related to beans pudding, is produced, and I can tell you from the display that we have out here, it is phenomenal compared to none other than Moin Moin coming straight to you from Mama Nigeria's kitchen. Take a look at the plethora, varieties of setting on how you can set up your Moi Moi for various occasions. The good thing about Moi Moi is that it is light, it is delicious. You can have it at any time of the day. Just like your pudding, you can have it in the morning for breakfast with pap. You can eat it by itself. You can have it for lunch or for dinner. And you can actually have it for a snack. So for dinner, this is what I'm going to do. I have the wings and my cupcake sliced into 3. It is very, very rich. You have here the red peppers, the corned beef. It's right there, and you have the egg. You cut it all up. The texture is intertwined into all the layers of the Moi Moi. Followers of Mama Nigeria's kitchen, fathers and mothers, daughters, sisters, aunties, thank you once again for watching the show and enjoying as we cooked the specialty Moi Moi for any occasion. We look forward to having you again. If you have not already done so, please remember to subscribe down below so that you can continue to receive notifications of beautiful, beautiful delicacies from Africa and around the world as we release those productions. So we look forward to having you again. Until then, bye, Okimbofu and Obulu.